more on that in a bit. Yeah.
If you don't know, we're going to be talking about GAT. We'll have some guests to talk about it of varying backgrounds. But first and foremost, we want to shout out Proform, our friends at Proform, for sponsoring the podcast. We've given away some stuff in the past 2 weeks. We gave away a big prize last week. And some people might think, well, the big prize is gone. What's the point of me entering for this episode? Are we going to tell them that what we're giving away is probably my favorite thing that we have?
So, yeah, it is pretty much, I would say, most of our favorites.
Yeah.
We are going to be giving away later. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you get to see it in my hand. We'll unveil it at the end.
If you watch the early episodes, you might
remember this, but it is heavily sought after in the office. So,
how do you win, you might ask? You just got to type in Proform parts in the comments live while we're on the air. If you make us laugh, it's a bonus. And then we'll enter you in the duck race at the end, which seems to be everyone's favorite.
Yeah, hopefully that's the best part of the episode.
And the winner gets some really cool stuff.
Uplifting.
No joke, not just because they're a sponsor and not just because I already like their stuff. Like, unironically, would take these to my garage.
Yeah, these are sick. Yeah. I think, like, how do you over-engineer something so simple? But I don't know. It's so cool.
Jeremy Miller says gas station pizza and YouTube, my man. Lunch of the gods.
Yo, daddy is here.
Crazy. We don't know who he's talking about. So yeah, instead of the normal what you might expect to see from an episode here, you're not going to see feature cars get reviewed today. It's specifically going to be about what happened in Sevierville / Gatlinburg / Slammedenuff Gat. It became the most controversial show of the year through no fault of their own, really. I think that's worth mentioning, that, you know, I wouldn't say it's Slammedenuff's doing for this to have happened. They were just caught in the crossfire of something that got bigger than it could handle.
I don't know, I've said this multiple times, but it's like, if you have a car meet with 1,000 people and 1% of those people are like, you know, a bad crowd, and then once, you know, Slammedenuff, you have like a crowd of, let's say, 50,000 people swarming the streets.
That 1% is a lot of people.
That 1% adds up to a whole lot more, and now all of them are, you know, just collectively being bad people. And I think that's kind of what happened here. Is it got a little too big for its own good, attracted, you know, that 1%, the wrong crowd. Almost everyone I saw throughout the week, insanely nice. I think it was only the Saturday night where you saw people actually being like hoodlums, where you're like, all right,
it's the weekend crowd, dude. They're not in school anymore. Because typically it is really young people without cars.
Yeah.
But Absolute Electronics says, oh man, I wanted to see some cars, but this is an important topic. Preach. So yeah, I don't know if we have some stuff to show while it's being shown. Harjaan, you know, in a minute or two, try to explain to the audience what it was like from a viewer standpoint. Like, you're just an attendee. What is the week leading up to, and what is the final result, and how does it all break down?
So this was my first time ever going to GAT or Sevierville.
You ruined it.
Yeah, it was me. I'm sorry, guys. But pretty much we got there Tuesday late at night, and then Wednesday night was the first night we were able to kind of walk along the strip. It was pretty peaceful. There were places to park in almost every parking lot. Traffic was not bad. Good vibes all around. And then Thursday night was probably way more busy. Everyone that was out on Thursday night was relating it to the previous year's Friday night. And so that was kind of already like a telltale that this year was going to be way more packed. But Thursday was really packed. Still good vibes everywhere. You could park in every lot and have a good time. No one was doing any like rowdy stuff on the road. And then Friday is when things got a little bit crazy. The police started barricading off. I believe that was the first night Jimmy's was blocked off and you weren't allowed parking there. A lot of other gas stations were parked off, and the cops were patrolling. But so yeah, we ended up parking up at a cookout restaurant, stayed there until like 1 a.m. and then, you know, got to head home, right? So Friday was like okay, but you know, we tried to stay a little way away from the crowd. And then Saturday night is when things were crazy. So Saturday morning, Jimmy's put out a statement saying that, hey, we saw that you guys didn't like the police barricades last night. We're going to take them off, and we're allowing people to come back to our lot. And so that, like, everyone got excited about that. Saturday, it was we stopped by the show right before it ended, and it took us about 2 hours to get from the like Slammedenuff show where it was actually happening to the strip, and that's probably like 10 miles. And it took 2 hours in traffic. We were stuck. By the time we got there, we saw Jimmy's was overflowing with people. Went down the strip. We found a quiet parking lot to park up in. I put quiet in quotations because like it was still packed. Chilled there for a bit, had dinner, and then we just left because we could see how rowdy things were getting. And with traffic, people were getting frustrated. You would park in a parking lot. Most of these fights happened because you would park in a parking lot and someone else would block you in and park their car, but then they would proceed to walk around the parking lot and look at other cars. And let's say you wanted to leave, you can't leave unless this car in front of you moves. And then that was causing a lot of, ruckus and chaos between people. But yeah, thankfully we ended up leaving to get home early. Like it was like Saturday, 10:30. And I believe that's probably around the time that things started, like these riots started happening at like Jimmy's and all across, and these Lambos and supercars were shutting down the strip so they could like drag race. I don't know. It was a joke, but Saturday was pretty hectic and chaotic. And you could tell, like even from down, like the SWAT was called. It's insane.
Yeah, it's simply too many people. MC Slick or Mix Slick says there are tons of events that have thousands of enthusiasts and never have anything like this happen, which sometimes is true, but I think that doesn't really take in the scale of the Slammedenuff Gatlinburg surrounding, Harjaan was there for a week beforehand. There's a lot of stuff going on in the time leading up to then. Also in the fact that this is either the third or the second consecutive week that the town and the surrounding area is subject to an automotive something. There was a truck fest of some sort literally the week before. So the town has already been through, and like those guys were doing straight up burnouts in part.
There were hooligans as well.
Just as much of the same bad behavior, if not more, but it seemed more acceptable for some reason. Maybe the town just reaches the end of their fuse by then.
It was weird because we had so many, like as you're walking down the strip, like we had so many locals that would come up to us and be like, hey, like we get it, you guys have your slammed cars, but like at least you guys are, and this was on like Wednesday and Thursday that we had these conversations before I guess things got too crazy. But they would say like, hey, like we had the truck guys here last week, they were rolling coal, doing burnouts, doing all this rowdy stuff every stoplight, and they're like, we don't really see that from you guys. And I think it was kind of the fear that everyone knew that you were going to get ticketed if you did like looked at the cops wrong,
for sure.
But it seems like, like what you're saying, these truck guys kind of got away with a lot.
Chat's filling us in too. There was a lot of things. There was a Jeep Fest, there was a hot rod thing, Truck Fest, and then Slammedenuff. That's all like within a week or a month. Sorry. And
all these shows are going to attract, that 1%, that wrong crowd. And like people are going to do that. And we've heard the stories from the locals that said that, they didn't really appreciate all the truck guys.
For sure. Of course.
And you're not going to appreciate all the Slammedenuff guys or, the crowd that we bring in. Yeah. But I think there are way too many people just acting up.
With that said, we have a couple of guests. Let's maybe start with one who, is not among the bad apples. We have Mark Cowans, VP of Team Elevate, who had give or take 40 cars slotted to enter Sunday's showcase. And for those of you, we didn't touch on this yet, but Sunday got canceled. There was no Sunday. The town was so fed up. The PD was so fed up. They essentially forced Slammedenuff to close the show on Sunday, which was planned. So the Saturday took place. Sunday, nada. Over. Mark, you here with us right now?
Hey, Mark?
Oh, we got anything from him?
A little technical difficulties, but let's see.
Oh, there. We got him. Mark, you here?
He's on video.
Oh, okay. I can't hear him. Give us a moment.
Yeah. Imagine having 40 cars entered into the show on a Sunday. All 40 people, let's say, trailer their cars. They are show cars at the end of the day, so I doubt any of them were pretty much driving down.
Boo.
You know, let's be realistic here. So you're probably trailering your car in. You got your accommodation, all that stuff prepped, and then you just literally first thing in the morning, you're probably on your way already to the show.
Right.
Yeah.
And you just get hit with
the time, it's the money.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Was it technical difficulties?
Oh, there we go.
Hey, Mark,
What's up,
how's
Mark?
it going?
Hey, sorry, it's all right. I'm just coming from work, so I had to improvise real quick.
All good, dude.
No worries.
From your perspective, as someone who's there and like obviously a big part of what's going to be going on in the show, especially with so many things, you know, kind of tied to the Sunday that didn't happen. What does it look like for you? Can you break it down from like the days leading up to and then, you know, where it all fell apart?
Okay, so this is my fourth Slammedenuff Gatlinburg. Since I moved to the East Coast, I started going out there every year. Loved it. Look forward to the event. You know, hang out with the team because we'd come from all over the country, from SoCal, all the way from Ohio, from New England, even down in the South, down in Florida. So we had teams that came from, or chapters come from everywhere in the country, and we usually came out pretty strong. We always had a good following out there. Last year we brought about 25 cars. Year before that, about 15 cars. So we always had an increasing amount of cars come out there. So normally what I would do is I would get out there to Gatlinburg about Wednesday or so. But sitting at home and at work and seeing the stories and the posts on Instagram, it was already chaos to begin with. Like I saw posts from Monday and the meets were huge, and I've never seen it that extreme, because I've been there on Monday and it's usually dead. So I was like, oh no, it's gonna be chaos. So I loaded my car. I went out there. I got out there Wednesday night, and I immediately went out after I unloaded the car. Immediately went out. Tried to park at Jimmy's, couldn't even get into Jimmy's. Supercars were there doing their thing, so I couldn't even get in there. I barely got in the entryway, and I turned around and just went and parked on the side of the street. So I was like, wow, this is crazy, because usually Wednesday it's really chill and you're really there for the vibe. Thursday, we went out again on Thursday night to do the same thing, and it was slammed. There was people up and down the parkway, people on every single parking lot all along. I've never seen, in 4 years I've gone there, I've never seen so many cars. So Thursday night, you know, we got out on the strip for maybe an hour or two, and it was chaos. You couldn't really go anywhere, but it was still pretty chill. It wasn't as bad as it would get later on. Friday, same deal, because I like to be outside. I like to experience the crowds. For sure. Not these kind of crowds, but I like to experience the people and the cars, and I like that part of the event. The show is great as well, but I also like that part of the event. Mm-hmm. And then during the day, you know, we go up in the mountains and we cruise and we take pictures and do photo shoots and videos and just, you know, go on cruises up the parkway and whatnot. But so I was always trying to get out every night. Saturday night was, Friday night was really crazy. And I knew for sure that Saturday is always the busiest night. Every Gatlinburg is always the busiest night on the strip, because when the show gets out, everyone goes straight to the strip. And given what happened on Friday and the Jimmy shutdown and the brick lot shutdown and everywhere else, I knew Saturday was going to be insane. So we tried to get out there early. We got out there probably two hours before the show let out, because I don't go into the show on Saturday because I don't want to deal with the lines and everything. That I'm going to be there on Sunday. And so but me and a couple of other Team Elevate guys that I was staying with the cabin, our team president, our Los Angeles sergeant, he's like our co-chapter lead. He was out there with me, and then one of my guys from Virginia, and it was chaos. Like, we didn't even get to the main part of the strip, and we were staying right off of Wares Valley. So if we came down Wares Valley, we basically pop out there where the BP is, where the Popeyes is, and that's where they have like the unofficial meets are right there on that corner, and we couldn't even get there. It was jam
insane on the Saturday. Yeah.
And so we ended up having to take the back roads, and we managed to navigate around, but then we were stuck on the other side of Pigeon Forge. And so we never even got to the Jimmy's area. And then, so we went and got some food, and we're watching the stories and the lives, and we're like, oh my God, we're really glad we weren't down there, because we saw, you know, the police standoff, the SWAT, the crowd chanting in front of the barriers. And I was like, this is not gonna be terrible. And there was no cars there either. It was just hordes of people.
That's what stands out the most in all the stuff that kind of goes viral, is like, there's no cars. It's like 500 high school age kids with their broccoli hair fighting in a parking lot. Like, why is it that, and all things?
The funny thing is, we actually had one guy. Actually, we had two guys from Team Elevate. They're from our Toronto chapter. He has a Nissan 350Z. He was actually parked at the pump during that riot. He was one of the few cars that was there. I wouldn't even call it riot. During the surge of people, I would say. Mm-hmm. And he has a story on his TikTok. He talks about it, but basically he was there just doing, you know, normal car enthusiast things the best he can with the crowd, and the crowd got rowdy, and the police told him it's unsafe for you to leave right now. So he had to like wait in his car with the police with the batons and the riot gear, like all surrounding him while he's sitting at the pump. But he wasn't doing anything crazy. He was just there, like he got there early. He wanted to show off his trunk setup. He wanted to, experience his first time in Gatlinburg, and he just got caught in that crowd. And so he, luckily, there was no real damage to cars or anything like that. Eventually, the police were able to escort him away from the pump until he could get back on the street. But it was pretty tense there for a good 20 to 30 minutes while he was sitting there in his car with a crowd of 500,000 people screaming Jimmy's. Yeah. And so
I guess the follow-up question is what happened to your guys?
Sorry, go ahead.
What happened to your guys with the Sunday? Like after all this goes down and they say like no more show.
So we didn't know. So there was no statement Saturday night. There was no statement Sunday morning, really early morning. Mm-hmm. So the team president, Gio, he has Gearhead Society, and he had his booth in the show. He was a vendor. And so he was in there all day Saturday, doing vendor stuff. And so we got up really early in the morning, before sunrise, because we wanted to wipe our cars down, get everything prepped and ready to go. And so, nobody was up. It was just like us and a few, stragglers. So we drive to our prearranged meeting area because we had 44 cars in the show total. 4 were in Saturday and 40 were in on Sunday. And everyone knows that goes to Gatlinburg, Sunday is the big day. Sunday is where all the heavy hitters go, all the nicest of the nicest builds are at. Plus, it's the day of the award, so everyone wants to be there that same day. So pre-Gatlinburg, we always encourage everyone on our team to register for Sunday. And so this was like our year. So we got everyone we could possibly get to come to it. So everyone was prepping, everyone was getting ready, and we had like our biggest turnout we've ever had at any single event in the entire country. And so our guys were super stoked. They were all about it. So everyone was up prepping everything. We met at the local Arby's, like right down the street from the convention center, and we all pull up there. It looked like a car show right there, right in the back of Arby's. There was 40 wide body boosted bright colored cars. It looked like a car show right there, and so everyone was super stoked. And Gio, he got a call from Charlin, from Slammedenuff, saying, "Hey, the police are here. I don't know what's going on. They're talking about canceling the show, but we don't know what to do." And so they're like, he told Gio that basically get all your guys, get them all lined up, and just come to the venue and see what the police say as you roll up.
Oh no!
So yeah, right. That's what Slammedenuff told us to do, and so we put it out to the guys. We got a little group huddle together. We told all the guys what's going on. It's like we don't know if the show's going to happen. Everyone was super disappointed because these guys were coming. Like I said, we had guys coming from Ohio, from LA. Myself from Southern Virginia. We had 3 members from Boston. We had guys from Toronto. I mean, we had guys that travel for hours and hours and hours across the country to come to this event, and we put them all. We wanted them all in Sunday so we could show out in force. And unfortunately, like that was like, we put all our eggs in one basket kind of deal because we wanted to win best team. All our guys have been struggling. They've always wanted to win best team. They've won best team in other local Slammedenuffs, and we're like, this is like the main event, so we wanted to win best team. Right. But anyway, so we rolled up to we left Arby's, came out, it's cool lineup, got all these cars, and we get to the venue, and there's probably 25 cops out there. Yeah. Not sirens on, but the lights on. They're all all around the entry area. No Slammedenuff people were to be seen. It was just cops immediately. And Gio gets out of his car. I get out of the car, and we go talk to the officer that was there. And he was like, we're going to cancel the show. We're not going to be having this Sunday. We don't, the city's decided that for public safety reasons, we're canceling the show. Mm-hmm. And so we talked to him, and he allows me, Gio, and another friend of us to go up talk to the Slammedenuff people. So we drive and talk to them, and they were like, you can tell they were super bummed. They were all just like shut down, reserved. They had nothing they could say. And they were like, the show's canceled. I'm really sorry. And we all had to turn around and go back. So all 40 of us made a big turnaround, U-turn, drove back. We stopped at Arby's again to kind of rehash what happened. Be bummed out about it, give our appreciation to guys for showing up and stuff like that. But my whole team was just really shut down, really upset about it because they really, really tried hard to get at the end of the show. And mind you, the crowds that were down in Pigeon Forge were not the crowds that were going to be the car shows at the event. Exactly. So it was kind of like it was kind of like a collective punishment. Unfortunately, we're getting blamed for what the actions of these kids. Honestly, I wouldn't even say the kids. I saw lots of 25, 30-year-old. I saw some 35-year-old men out there standing on the Jimmy's pumps and stuff. So I can't say it's just kids.
Wow.
Just fools.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the people who had their blood, sweat, and tears into their builds and into their cars and the traveling kind of got the short end of the stick because of those actions. And I was really bummed out because, like I said, my team tried really hard. And a lot of our guys are 4, 5, 6, 7-year veterans of this event. So, and this is the event with, we just came to this culmination of having the full team there. And it was kind of, like our World Series. And it really was demoralizing for the team.
No doubt, man. Well,
But,
I'm hoping for the best coming up with future shows. I think you guys should get a best team award at something soon. But yeah, we do appreciate you sharing, your insight on what it was like to have a giant group of people there as opposed to, Harjaan for us. Just the homie that went to GAT for the first time,
Right.
but to see, you've seen years past and you saw the growth to critical mass, what you might call this year. And then, like you said, like a collective punishment.
Oh, definitely.
Somehow the show received the brunt of the punishment for the actions of people out on the streets, which seems really weird.
Yeah,
But,
and it's weird because a lot of these people that are on
Right.
the street never had the intention of
They were never at the
going
show to
the
begin
show.
with.
They weren't going to buy a ticket. They weren't going to go to the show. They weren't going to show up. They're just there.
I don't see any slammed enough wristbands in that crowd.
That's true.
Not at all. And the funny thing is, when I was out there on the street, before the chaos, talking to people, a lot of the groups of people just wandering around and with, the clapped out cars, I don't want to say any particular brand, but the ones that weren't sure quality, they were locals. I'm going to be real with you. They all were Tennessee people. I'm not trying to point blame at them, but these are their own people. Maybe not Gatlinburg, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge people, but they were Tennessee people. They had Tennessee plates on them. They were from Tennessee. Most of the people I met like that were Tennessee people. And unfortunately, it's blaming this outside group for causing this chaos. It's kind of was mostly their own people. So,
Yeah.
and it's just really bad because it paints a bad picture for all of us. And I want to touch base on what you said earlier about them having multiple car events week to week to week. This is not the first car show I've been to, and I've also managed multiple car shows across this country, and I've done things like that. And I also have people in law enforcement that I work with. And I don't want to put the blame on the city, but the city definitely mismanaged this. A lot of the places that we normally use, we normally use in Rod Run uses and Jeep Week uses and all the other event uses were blocked off before we even showed up. And so these, I don't know how many thousands of people come into this event, or even just coming to town for the event, or just to be around the event. I don't know how many thousands were, but they had nowhere to go. And as evident, you can see they were clogging the parkway. And they were clogging Walmart, when they finally said that, oh, you can have meets at our parking lot. They were clogging it. They had nowhere to go. And I'm not saying that what the city did caused our, these people's, reaction, but it's kind of a two-part. And unfortunately, the way the people who showed up for the event, the way they acted kind of overshadows, the mismanagement from the city personally.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's no excuse. People should never act like that. Never act like that.
I think you've touched on
100%.
something
But it's
important
it's one of
that
those
is a
things like if you
factor.
know crowd control.
Yeah, that is certainly a factor. It's something we'll talk about moving into this podcast more. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us and letting us your insight on the whole thing. We got a couple other guests, so I'm gonna have to let you go, and
Of course.
we'll move on to we'll bring up some of the stuff
No problem.
you've
Appreciate
talked about as well. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
man.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling
Thank
in and
you.
sharing.
So before we jump into our next guest, the kind of gist of this is a few things. One, it is possible for things to get too big for their own good. You saw the size of the crowds. That is just too many friggin' people for a small mountainside town. It is far bigger than it's capable of handling.
Exactly.
And two, maybe there was some mismanagement from the city. Closing off all the lots seems like a very indirect way of forcing chaos on
Causing
the thing.
traffic.
Maybe unintentional, but you're causing traffic, you're causing frustrations, and then any place that does open up is going to be the subject of all these people bottlenecking
Yeah.
to
That
one
too.
spot. And it's interesting that the events in the weeks leading up to it didn't face the same thing, despite previously shown bad behavior. So something to note. I don't think any one particular cause is to is to blame for the whole pop off of what happened on the weekend.
It's kind of also just like traffic. Like imagine like, you know, you finish your 9 to 5, you're stuck in traffic for like an hour and a half. Like wouldn't you be more on edge than if you had just like, yeah. So it's like a lot of these people were stuck in traffic for so long, or, you know, wanted to leave a parking lot, but they couldn't. And I think that's where, you know, a lot of people just started getting like more and more.
This sentiment
upset.
is also ringing true with a lot of people in our chat. A lot of people feel like the closing of the brick lot, which is a giant lot for parking purposes, was a huge mismanagement. Some of them, especially in the comments, even outside of our own thing, feel like it was intentional because they don't like Slammedenuff, or they don't like the gatherings.
Like I've seen like arguments for both sides for brick lot. One is like giving the people a large space to gather and kind of, you know, do what they want to do, but then also it's literally a brick lot. And when you have very stanced out cars that are like not even a leaf off the ground, don't you think some of these bricks might get kicked up?
Yeah, that's fair.
Or anything like that. So I've heard that was like the argument that a lot of people were kind of putting out throughout the week, was that they didn't want the bricks, like people like actually defacing the road, where the bricks kick up or something like that.
Which comes back to excessively cambered tilty wheel cars are very annoying.
Which the whole point of this show is the whole point of this show is cambered tilty
for sure. I get that, but I think you need to choose a location accordingly. I think, you know, you go somewhere in the Midwest, or you go somewhere that, you know, that stuff is not like as popular.
Everyone's saying like Mark literally just messaged saying that they were using the brick lot for like decades, and then so like it's fair. Like and
why wouldn't they close it off to the trucks that are doing burnouts? You know, it's very like targeted. It feels like, but it's hard to say.
Definitely targeted. But you know, when you think of car meets and when you think of takeovers, who would you closely associate takeover culture with? Would you consider like a truck driver or a person who drives like a lifted truck or whatever?
Sometimes, but mostly like, Challenger and Charger
It's
owners.
mostly like, I would say the tuner car culture, right? Is directly. And so when they see all this like takeover stuff, they associate us directly with it.
Yeah, I think there's a huge narrative of like the takeover thing being why this happened. And I think maybe that's a part, but it didn't see like, and you know, don't get me wrong, on record, we fucking hate takeover nerds. You all suck. We've done diatribes about this in the past. If you go to takeovers, unsubscribe, leave the chat, delete yourself, delete the car. Regardless, I don't think that was the biggest factor, because those 2,000 people standing at a gas station chanting and recording isn't really a takeover. It's a bunch of idiots.
Yep.
You know, it's not a riot, but it's something.
It's a low IQ gathering.
We've debated enough on what it could or couldn't have been. Like we said, I think there's a bunch of factors, but we want to talk to someone else. We want to talk to Chris Watson of Outsider Performance. And if you are wondering why that name might seem familiar, they put out a statement. Maybe we can put that on the screen. They will not sell, and by the way, these guys are an awesome authorized retailer that sell a bunch of cool stuff. Not an ad, just took a look at their stuff, and they sell high quality, good products on their store. They will no longer be selling or doing business with anybody who partakes in takeover culture, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's a good start, because when we see all this stuff happen, when you see something really cool like get the axe and get deleted from a town, you wonder like, what can we do? What do you do?
Like,
you beat these people up? Like, that sounds funny and like, sure, but the scenes of chaos is people fighting in a parking lot. Do you want to add to that? Probably not.
Yeah.
It's
in a realistic way.
You need a realistic solution. And I think this is a step in the right direction. I think ostracizing these people from car culture is definitely a step. Will it stop them? No, a lot of them don't care.
A lot of them also drive like stock vehicles. They just want to pretend that they're part of car culture.
Exactly, yeah. So someone in the comments said like another main issue was that people were bringing out cars that weren't even stanced or anything like that to a stance show. And it was like, what are you doing here?
But I don't think that's necessarily an issue either. Because like, if you just have like okay fitment and you just want to come cruise the Rockies with your boys, you should be allowed to do that.
Exactly. But I feel like they felt like,
as long as you're not doing burnouts. But yeah, without further ado, let's talk to Chris Watson. Chris, you here with us, man?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
I'm doing. Yeah, we hear you, man. Where are you? Oh, I see you too. Sick. Were you the first shop to at least to your knowledge, this zero tolerance policy?
So yes, we're one of the first official aftermarket performance shops to actually implement this policy. But I want to highlight something. This policy was not my original idea. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Heidi. She's the co-owner of Slammedenuff. But shortly after what happened in Gatlinburg, she posted out a statement that said essentially that they comb through everyone's social medias, anything that's linked to them when they do the application process to be admitted to the show. And they go through that and they verify that the people that are trying to actually participate in the show aren't people that shouldn't be with us, aren't people that should be, kind of in a sense exiled from the community. They're committing these acts that are making us all look, stupid, essentially is what it is. And they're giving us a bad name in front of law enforcement and anyone else, or even the general public. And so Slammedenuff was actually the ones that started doing this. I'm not sure when they started implementing this policy, but I was, after the events that happened on Saturday night and going into Sunday when I got the call that the show was going to be canceled and to come and pack up our booth and everything else, I was just sitting there. I was fuming. I was mad.
Yeah,
I've been going to the show for 6 years. This is the first year officially to be a vendor, and I was just brainstorming on what I could do to make a difference. And after seeing Heidi's post about coming through all the people that apply to the show and make sure that the people that shouldn't be there aren't there, that got me thinking. And so that's the reason why we came up with the policy that we have now. I do want to highlight that the parts that we sell are geared towards the JDM and some of the Euro community. Majority of it's the JDM community, and you really don't see it that often. It's part of the reason why I decided not to publicly sell USDM parts. It's not that I can't get them. It's part of the big factor is that unfortunately USDM vehicles are a lot of the ones that are used in takeover culture. And I don't want my name or my company's name, this is well before what happened this past weekend, to be associated with that. And so after the event, we decided to take a public stance on it, and now we implemented that policy, and we're going through every order. I won't go into the very specifics on how we use that to make sure that they aren't able to place orders, because then everyone's going to use that way to bypass what we do. But that's the reason why. If I can stop someone from modifying a vehicle, there's hundreds of thousands of other companies out there they could buy from, but it all starts with someone. And if I can start making it harder for people to get performance parts for the vehicle if they're conducting themselves with takeover activities, then that's what I'm going to do. And so a good friend of mine, he's the owner of Stage Motorsports. He actually is one of the people that helped me jumpstart my shop off of basically from the ground up. He jumped right in, no questions asked. He saw that, messaged me, said I'm in. So he immediately implemented it, and he's got a larger customer base than I do. And that's kind of snowballed. We've seen a lot of performance shops that are starting to do this. We've seen even just people that are selling merch that don't want their merch associated with it. It's snowballing, and it's starting to become a little bit bigger every day. And it all starts somewhere, and unfortunately we had to be the ones that started. But if it means that we take a loss in revenue to help better our community, then that's just what we're going to do.
I respect it, man. That's
I started this company not trying to make a bunch of money. I have a normal 9-to-5 job. I did this because I love it, and that's just the only way that it's going to stop is if we put a stop to it ourselves, unfortunately.
Exactly.
So what's the reaction been like?
The reaction, majority of it has been good. If you go through a lot of the comments, I've gotten a ton of DMs. A lot of people are supporting it. There's a lot of people that aren't. It kind of varies. The people that aren't in support of it aren't necessarily because they conduct themselves in takeovers or stuff like that. They're just weary on the ways that we're going about using the policy. They're afraid that it's going to be targeted to the wrong people, or someone that might have posted one video but doesn't actively do that, and it would just happen to be there. Unfortunately, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But if you even are posting that kind of content on your page and I see it, and I see you place an order with us, if you're promoting that culture, your order's canceled. Just plain and simple.
I think that's probably the best approach.
It's got to stop. And a lot of these people see that you can make a viral video off of recording some stupid stuff and record it, post it, and that's how it spread even worse. So unfortunately, there's people that might not actually be in the takeovers, swinging vehicles, doing burnouts, jumping on gas pumps. But if you're posting that kind of content, we'll find it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's sick. How was the Saturday for you guys at the show?
So this past year was our first actual year as a vendor with Slammedenuff. I've been going to Slammedenuff shows, I believe, back since like 2017. And every year I always travel to normally the set amount of shows. Previous to us moving to Ohio, we were out of Nashville, a little bit more central. So we're able to make a lot of the shows happen. But as far as Sevierville, sorry, the show went great. Saturday was awesome. We met thousands of enthusiasts, talked to thousands of people about their cars, about what they like to do, about what they're looking for in their car, what their goals are.
Yeah.
And overall, it was just awesome. You know, gradually over the past, I'd say 3 to 4 years, this event has grown and grown significantly into what it was this past couple of weekends. But it was good. It was nice seeing even the amount of people that came up and were like, hey, you know, we're not really into cars. We're thinking about it. You know, can you help us point us in the right direction? I thought that was pretty awesome. So the show isn't necessarily just solely for stance cars, you know, as you know, even though it is Slammedenuff and it's branded as that stance culture, it's for anyone that wants to be an enthusiast. And I think it's pretty awesome that it spread to that point, but unfortunately it got out of hand.
Yeah, understandable. Well, we appreciate you being, you know, one, if not the first to take a public stance and actually, you know, some action. Yeah. Most people, it's really easy to wag fingers on social media, but it's another thing to put your money where your mouth is. So we do appreciate that. And I think you touched on some stuff that has been echoed in our comment section a lot, is that a lot of these people are doing it for the attention that's so easy to get via chaos. Yep. I think as a car community, and if you're listening, I think this is absolutely for you. If you're a social media user, I want you to pay attention. When you see this chaotic nonsense and people doing dumb shit, don't follow it. Like, you can observe and let it go. You don't need to follow and give these people the recognition they deserve. Don't share it. Don't comment on it. Don't like it. Unfollow them. Block them. You know, snuff the fire. Stop giving fuel to the fire. The more attention these people are getting, the more it's rewarded in more and more social recognition. I think the less of that, the better. Yeah. So if, you know, for example, as Outsider Performance is putting a hurdle up, maybe it's their first attempt at trying to get something for their car takeover related. Hitting one hurdle might be enough to deter some people. Hitting a second hurdle, when you start losing followers, it's enough. You know, small compounding effects can make a big difference. You're never going to completely root this stuff out, but we can stop it from reaching critical mass in the way it has. Accountability is the big word. Thank you, Luke, because it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate it's gotten to that point. But like you said, you know, if we could put a stop to it at some point, I mean, unfortunately it possibly has ruined what was ever the greatest stance show in the U.S. What I would argue is the best show of the year. And it's already ruined one show, and I don't want it to ruin any others. I don't want it to ruin any of the local cars and coffees that you go to that you love to do on the weekends. You know, that unfortunately, if it continues down the path that it's gone down, that's going to be what it is.
Oh, we already see it here. Car meets are essentially
you see it in
illegal.
California just over this past weekend. They're calling it cars and copters.
Wow.
There was a helicopter that over this massive takeover that happened in Huntington Beach. I mean, it's sad, and it's ruined the car culture, and that's the reason why even people that don't attend the car culture in California are reaping that. I'm originally from Southern California. I grew up in the 90s where all the crazy JDM cars were out. Everyone was street racing. This was way back in the day, you know, and it's just kind of evolved, and it's no longer about what the cars are about. It's just what people can do to get clout on social media.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, Chris, thank you for putting your money where your mouth is, and thanks for joining us and giving us your your own insights on this. We really appreciate you taking the time today.
Yeah.
Man.
I do also want to shout out that Outsider Performance, they do have a custom GAT t-shirt that I'm sure you guys weren't able to sell on the Sunday. So if you guys want to check out a custom GAT shirt for 2025, check it out on their website.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's our Jimmy's Market shirt. So we were one of the few vendors that were approved directly from Jimmy's Market to sell this. We came up with this design. It kind of roots back with all of our designs. We're huge in the JDM community, but we wanted to incorporate some Euro stuff as well. You can see we incorporated some Euro, some supercars in there.
Awesome.
This was just our huge shirt for the year, and we actually ended up selling out at Gatlinburg on Saturday within the first couple hours.
Love that.
So yeah, it was pretty awesome. Everyone was loving it. It was crazy. People would be coming around up to booth. You got any more left? Well, no, unfortunately we're out, but yeah, we did open up pre-orders. All pre-orders are getting free shipping on it. And it's a little unfortunate. I want to touch on the fact that this unfortunately happened at Jimmy's Market. And, for the past several years, he's given us kind of like a safe space to be able to hang out and enjoy all these crazy cars at Jimmy's Market. And it's unfortunate that they took advantage of someone that's been super nice to us every year, inviting us out.
Yeah.
And almost giving him a bad look. So, it's just unfortunate, but huge shout out to them over at Jimmy's Market for allowing us to make this design, and hopefully, who knows, maybe we'll be able to bring it back next year. But it is up for pre-order if anyone wants one.
There you go. You heard it here.
Thank you.
Man. Thank you for your time, man.
Thank you.
Good chatting with you.
All right.
I think the overarching theme here is stop feeding the fire. Obviously, they're going to continue performing for their own dorky little community, but the less you follow it, the less you stick around to watch when it happens, the less you record it on your phone. Just kill it off, slowly but surely. You don't need to take a recording every time someone does some dumb shit at a car meet.
Yeah,
it's like recording at a concert. Nobody's watching it, dude.
Like, I get it. Being immature in the car community, like, everyone's been there.
Yeah, of course.
You see someone start revving their car and go, oh, let me go look at it. And you run over, and, like, you quickly mature out of it. But I think, because of the whole, like, TikTok and stuff like that, like I feel like people are just kind of stuck in that phase, and they're not really like growing out of it or getting that like bullying that you get that we used to get back in the day. Is like, hey, shut up, stop revving.
Well, everyone wants to go viral.
Everyone wants to go viral.
Whatever they can get is what they're going to be posting.
Yeah.
Let me assure you, as someone who's gone viral several times, it doesn't do anything. I didn't make any money.
Oh, Mr. Viral guy over here.
I gained like some followers.
Woo.
Unless they're giving me money or doing something for me, that sort of like outside social validation is so worthless. Find something fulfilling in your goddamn life. Go find purpose. It's not on social media. Regardless, this is a time to remind everybody that Proform Parts sponsors this podcast and my fucking weekly diatribes. In addition to that, they are giving away something free every single episode. We gave away a big prize last week. We give away a big prize every month. And we're kicking this month off with something still very cool. Nice lineup, guys. Nice lineup. This is one of the best prizes, in my personal opinion. I think a lot of people in the office would agree.
Yep.
I would take this home with me today if I was able to. And I hope we get to keep a set when this is all said and done. Proform, hey, if you're listening, hit me up. But yes, if you want to enter, all you got to do is comment Proform Parts in the live comments. If you make us laugh, we can't really give bonus entries. There's one duck per person, but accept the challenge. It'll make us feel good. We'll give you a shout out. But so far, honestly, they've been pretty mediocre. Anyways, that will be at the end of the episode, so stick around. If you've entered, you'll find out if you won this.
It's a good prize,
and you'll also find out what it is, because it looks cool in there. I'm not gonna lie. We'll do the duck race at the end. Lastly, we have one very special guest. We saved them for last because I would say they're the most relevant to the topic today.
Yeah, we're talking about Slammedenuff.
We wanted to talk to someone at Slammedenuff, and better yet, we're going to be talking to David, who is their attorney. That's DAC Law.
Hey,
David, what's going on, man?
Welcome.
How do I say your last name? Is it Chiccarelli?
Chiccarelli.
That's a badass last name.
You can say it with some Italian flair.
Okay.
I'll respond to most things, honestly. It's been massacred so many times that I'll respond to anything. It doesn't matter.
So you're serving as Slammedenuff's attorney. Why do they need an attorney? Is this city trying to sue them? Is somebody or is there a class action?
No, and if they do, they're gonna be met with obviously some fervent defense because it's absurd. They didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. But no, there's obviously media. There's only a few people that are in charge there, and they can't be in multiple places at once. And as you can imagine, we're doing tons of events everywhere across this country, and they go off fine.
Right.
Nothing happens because we have a well-oiled machine with tons of staff, and they know how logistics work. But as you guys have been discussing, there's a lot more going on here, isn't there? You could run the best event in the world. Shit's still going to pop off potentially.
Exactly.
You know? But yeah, they don't need an attorney. It's better for everyone to have an attorney. Everybody in there should have an attorney. Anything that you guys say can be used against you.
I do have one for that reason.
Smart man. All right. Well then,
in terms of what you said here in the intro, you have other events and nothing like this happens. Do you think this is a symptom of something just becoming bigger than it can handle at this point? It's become more than the show. There's people that go not for the show because people are gathering in the town.
Yeah.
That would assume that the town, it's a series of towns. I mean, there's one town, but you can see it's spread across a geographical area. But I don't think it's outgrown it. I think it's all a matter. I used to go to H2O. You ever been to Ocean City? That's a big city.
Right.
I used to go to SoWo. Helen is a tiny, tiny town. And yeah, it had symptoms, but it had symptoms because of the beginning of this car culture that's changed us, that's morphed us into, we can't have huge crowds unless the police, the city is actively doing the measures necessary to keep everybody contained. It's not that we're all dumb. It's that when we're all together, we're dumb. They've studied mob mentality for 100 years, and it's not that everybody's a bad actor necessarily. It's just we need to have the right protocols in order. Right. And I can say other events that are going on now that are still, thriving and doing well because they figured this part of the equation out.
Right. You touched on H2OI. RIP. What a disaster that became towards the final years. We've never seen anything like it.
But what did we see? And I went years and years. My best friend got arrested at it. He's probably watching this. He wasn't even doing anything that absurd, but everybody saw everyone getting arrested. Everyone saw that you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get a ticket. I saw a guy in a Borat thong. I got a photo of it somewhere being carted away in a paddy wagon. And everyone saw that. And had we had TikTok back then, it might have turned into something else. But if at least in my friends and my cohort of people, we went, oh crap, let's behave.
Exactly.
Our friend just got arrested. Let's behave. And then I can mention some other Tennessee car shows and events that I love very much. And once shit starts to pop off, guess what flies in? Drones come in telling everybody to disperse. That scares the shit out of us. So what do? Get the hell out of there.
Right. Yeah, so don't form a crowd, do burnouts, and start recording.
I could go on and on about that. I'm sorry. But yeah, there's tons of ways. And I'm a prosecutor. I represent an entire city. I've been law director for a whole city, and I fill in as a magistrate. So I'm on the other side of this. I understand the city, and I know that they did not have the intention. They didn't want this to happen. They like all the money coming in. Did they do things that 100% exacerbated this? Yeah. Yeah, 1,000,000%. I don't think we would have been in this position had we just had a little more control from the city and law enforcement.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, honestly. You touch on, putting things in place and getting the formula right to make sure something goes off without a hitch. Can you speak to any future plans to ensure that future shows of this nature don't turn into this?
I can honestly say they've got a team of 45 people. We had 20 Sevierville police. You know how many people were at the event on Saturday? 50? I don't even know the total numbers yet, but it was 15,000, 17,000 maybe. No problem. 4,000 cars in that small area. There was nothing that happened. It went off without a hitch. Right. So it's the event is its own entity. And yeah, there's a lot of extraneous happening around it. we invite in stance cars. I put my Skyline in the Ohio one. It's not even bag jet, and it's cool, but it's not slammed. I still got third place. So it doesn't just cater to the slam people. It's all car people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
Harjaan.
To see that our team put on an event, an absurd amount of people, and nothing bad happened shows that it's not the event's problem. It is this extraneous part. There's 3 cities the Smoky Mountains are right there. It's the most visited national park in the country, one of the most visited in the world. There's already an insane influx of people. Let's not close off the lots and push everybody onto the streets. And I was watching your previous guest. They hit some really good points. It does. It just frustrates people.
Definitely. I think that certainly amplifies a lot of the frustrations that tend to boil over into these like public acts of defiance or whatever, comes of the more chaotic nights. When you look at other shows happening in big areas that tend to overflow their surrounding areas and fill the surrounding parking lots with people and turn into essentially what Gat did, just so many people in the town, what is it that they do exceptionally well to stay away from stuff like this? Are they renting out parking lots? Is it notifying the city and law enforcement and everything so they can prepare better? Is it all of the above?
It's all of the above. I think a show of police force, if they've got enough officers, our team, honestly, I won't go into a lot of details, but there have been attempts to get the city to take resources from us to help them. And obviously I'm going to talk to them some more and see if we can try and do that. But they got to accept whatever we're willing to offer. If we need an officer on every corner for a Saturday night just to make sure people behave, I don't think that's a 1984 Orwellian life. Right. If it keeps people from doing burnouts and the damn drones flying in other cities in Chattanooga, that seemed a bit, dystopian, but it worked. It worked, and we got to have our event, and it went off without a hitch. So I think keeping the lots open and just having police presence. I think having them denying permits for pre-meets and them canceling permits is absurd. Them closing off Jimmy's the night before. We all know what forbidden fruit is. Don't close the damn lot and then open it up randomly. Of course, everyone's going to flock there.
Everyone's going to show up at the same time.
Well, why are all these broccoli-haired kids buying Supreme? It's only because it's a limited release. It's hard to get. You close off Jimmy's, and then everyone rushes in there. That's the spot to be. They all want to be there. And anytime you have that many men, essentially, with testosterone and I don't know, not a freaking clue, something bad's going to happen. But I think if we would have had park the damn SWAT vehicle there, next time, park the damn SWAT truck there. They're not going to gather there if the SWAT truck's there. And it's a show of force, and we're already used to it.
So there's something that's come up a lot in the comments here and online that the city revoked permits in the week leading up to GAT for all of these external meets that are already pre-sorted and permitted, and they're going to go off legal gatherings, yada yada, not trespassing, not making a ruckus. They were all revoked in the week leading up to GAT.
Some were revoked like an hour before.
Or an hour before.
Yeah.
Does this feel like the city kind of set you up to fail?
I don't know anything about those specific permits because I think those permits were done, through vendors and other private groups.
That's fair.
Who in God's name thinks it's smart to pull them? No. Let's just put it this way. You have an event and everyone knows to come there. Everyone wants to go there because it becomes some cultural thing, and it has turned into some cultural thing. We love the mountains. We love it there. Whether they cancel the event or not, people will still go.
Yep.
They'll still go. Just like locking people up and sending them to jail. They're going to get out. Why not give them the tools to succeed when they get out? They're not giving us the tools to succeed and have a good event, bring in millions of dollars and tons of tourism to their area, unless they too are on our team. I don't know why they pulled the permits. I don't know why.
The rumor is there wasn't enough officers for all of them. I think that's the prevailing rumor. Now, I can't speak to whether that's true or not.
And if that's the case, guess what? We have a hell of a good roadmap to make sure next year is successful. And if they make us come back under a different name, whatever.
It does feel like a big failure to plan on a lot of people in this city.
Yeah, well, it's easy to point blame here. The city did what I don't think, I honestly, as somebody that works for a city and has been going to these events my whole life, and I have tons of, probably in certain jurisdictions, not the most legal of cars, but the city wasn't out to screw people. They don't want chaos. They know they have city council to answer to. They have prosecutors, they got magistrates, they have judges. There's so much more involved here. What I am certain they're guilty of is overreacting for attributing all this chaos to an event that had nothing to do with the chaos. People come in for all sorts of reasons. Again, we watch these videos on repeat. None of those people had a damn car in the show.
Yeah,
No,
they didn't.
exactly.
We already beat that horse dead. They don't have a car in the show. So we can't stop everyone from coming. And if we know they're coming anyways, let's not cancel permits next year. Let's have enough officers. Let's accept resources from our team to make sure this goes off without a hitch. And if we have to hire private security, that's fine. But private security is not the police.
Right. But at least it's a little forethought into it. A big comment or question from our audience that's come in a lot, even before this and now. A lot of people want to know what happened to Saturday. Was it still judged? What happened with the rest of the show that day?
You mean like after the event went off and everybody scatters and does their own thing for the evening? You're talking about just the actual...
I think the actual event itself.
The actual
right?
show itself.
Yeah, the show.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people were
the legitimate show.
Kind of confused as per like judging and stuff like that, and were a little upset and had questions, but definitely want to hold off, until kind of the smoke blew over. But
well, that was probably I don't know. You have to talk to them. I know that they have an insane team that takes this very seriously, and I'm sure they've done everything that they're supposed to, but what are you supposed to do when something like this happens? You've got millions of dollars on the line, and
it's not going to be
lots of people. But I mean, everybody showed up for the event on Saturday. I'm not 100% sure of that answer, but I know that they have this run like a well-oiled machine, and they have whatever questions they're trying to ask. I'm sure they'll put out a statement,
right?
And I can talk to them about it. But yeah, I know these guys really well, and they're just as much car people as you and I and all of us have been our entire life. They're not business people in this to make money. They just want us to be able to have these damn events because they remember the good old days, and they know that there's some magic to this and inspiring future car people. And it's fun to just get together. I mean, all my best friends have been doing this kind of stuff. So whatever it is, their brand would never do anything to harm any of their people. They want everyone to keep coming out, and this was just a freak incident. Why the hell else are you guys talking to me?
Yeah, right. I don't think any of this is on the fault of Slammedenuff in the slightest. I think this is completely a separate issue, and like our previous guests have said, like it's a collective punishment at the end of the day, which shouldn't be allowed, but neither here nor there. American municipalities operate in different areas of the law that I don't fully understand as a Canadian journalist.
Seriously. It's not. I mean, it's not. You're totally right. You hit the nail on the head there.
But a question for you, just as a fellow enthusiast,
hang on. I got a text. The Saturday cars are going to be judged, and they're going to make their announcements, and then they're going to announcements and send the awards out.
There you go, everybody. There's the answer to all your questions. No, that's good. That's their
first priority. I know that's all they care about is bringing us together. And then, why else do we do this? We don't even. I wish if social media just didn't exist, it would be the greatest thing in the world. Oh my God.
Do you fear that this type of thing is becoming a threat to not just Slammedenuff, but car shows in general? Because we've seen throughout, especially here locally, especially in California, and lots of places across the states, things that become bigger and bigger annual gatherings, H2OI, for example, they tend to spiral over time as the crowd gets bigger. Is this a real threat to like weekend long car shows and gatherings?
I'm seeing multiple pieces of this, and yes, for sure. Except now we kind of can see this. We didn't know what was going on at Solo and H2OI. We didn't know how pervasive social media was already started. It already happened, but it wasn't the same kind of vibe that we have now. And I think there's a way to protect it. One, I saw tons of AI pictures of cops throwing tear gas and all sorts of stuff at Slammedenuff. It wasn't true. It was total fake. And that stokes the social media. Ooh, let's go. That'll be fun. Let's cause more chaos. I am absolutely certain of some takeover kids that are self-proclaimed that are on social media just advertising to their followers that they are the ones that did this.
Oh yeah, we've seen it.
I've seen those. I canceled.
The cops have seen it too. They've all seen it. They all get sent this stuff. I mean, so what are they gonna do about it? They're gonna have to we're gonna have to let the police infiltrate our damn events for a minute, just to make sure that things go off without a hitch until people start behaving. What do we need anytime this kind of stuff happens? Sturgis, motorcycle rallies. Motorcycle rallies go on, and people generally behave. Sturgis goes on in South Dakota, hundreds of thousands of people there. They're all bikers, and stuff happens, but it's different. It's a different culture. It's a different kind of thing. But, I mean, my dad's been going every year since 82, and it's still just a bunch of my dad, drunk bikers, and they still don't act fools. They still don't cancel these events. Why the hell are they treating us like this? I mean, it's really not fair. And hearing there's a lot of ignorant people around that hear backfires and think it's gunshots.
Of course.
So I think the future is working close with the police for every event and making an example out of a few of these people to see that you can't do this, and not let the crowds get like this. I think that's the event. Multi-day events can happen, but it's going to cost more for the people putting them on. It's going to cost Slammedenuff a lot more money to put it on because we're going to have more police. But we need to make sure that they know that we did I lose you guys?
No,
we're still here.
It turned into full screen for me. There you are.
Oh yeah.
We just got to make sure that these guys know that we're not there to create chaos, and that no matter what you do, people are going to come in as outside influencers to create chaos, and we want them to see that we're willing to make an example out of them too.
Preach. I think it's kind of on everybody who knows that this is nonsense to be a better ambassador for car culture, and I think that goes as far as like your daily life. Like when you come to a stop sign and someone wants to cross, let the person, like, just be a polite car enthusiast at all times and kind of break down the stigma that we already get, especially in big crowded areas.
Yeah, and we don't need more squeeze bends on the highway. All right,
yeah,
stop doing that.
Please
this is a PSA. Another PSA.
And your burble tunes.
I like
shut up.
The social ostracification of people and holding them accountable. There's photos. If everybody is posting all this on social media, there's a collective mountain of evidence of who's doing this. Let's not bully them, but let's just have a private talk with them. And if you're a friend with them, pull them aside and say, hey, if you like going to GAT, if you like Riverside, Chattanooga, if you like going to these things, do not behave in the tomfoolery.
Yeah.
You know what? I agree, man.
We need a shirt.
I know there's a way around this. We just got to keep doing it. We're not going to stop. We're car people. We can't stop. This is our problem. And I know nothing is going to keep us from gathering and doing this. And it's a crazy industry. And I don't know. I like showing my car off. So I'm coming.
Yeah. So you think there's going to be a next year? And
I don't know about net. I'm going to try. I need to talk. I need to talk to them some more. I still haven't spoke to them. Called them last week and they were out. So we're going to have some conversations with them. And if it's not, if they don't want us and they truly don't want us, it'll be really clear from my conversations with us or with them, with us, that this wasn't us, that there was a lot of factors going on. And if they don't let us come back and they don't want us to come back, then we won't. We'll go somewhere else. There's other mountain towns that want millions and millions of dollars, and we can work close with their police, and we can make sure that this goes off without a hitch with the same magic that we have in Gatlinburg or in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, that whole area. But we know they can handle it. It's not a not being able to handle it. It's a actually handling it situation.
Right. Well, I appreciate the proactiveness with the approach, and we appreciate you joining us and filling us with the insight of what it looks like from the other side, or what from both sides really, because you've worked on both sides, so that's really insightful. Any last words to the audience watching, wondering what the hell happened and what we can do?
Behave. Like, literally go have fun. Go have the best fun ever. Do what we used to do 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago. But, like, you don't need to let alcohol take control of your situation. You don't need to be ripping your vapes and your weed pens like maniacs, because then you might actually start engaging in this behavior. Just go out and have fun. And there's plenty of ways to do that and not break the law and not jumping on top of, gas pumps and just idiocy. It's idiocy. You seen Idiocracy? That's what we're heading towards.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're heading towards that. But there's enough of us good, reasonable-minded people that are actually in charge and can try and make a difference. It's just sometimes things boil over, and this boiled over, and now we're going to not let that happen again.
Right on. Yep. Well, David, thank you very much for joining us, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Anything you need, let me know.
The air. And I'm sure we'll be in touch again in the near future, man.
If you need an attorney.
I got mine.
One of you've already got one. I work well with others. I'll work with them. You'll still end up picking me in the long run.
Oh, man. David, thank you again, man.
Thank you so much.
I'll see you guys.
Yeah, thank you for clearing it up.
Another thing that's in the comments we kind of didn't talk about. I mean, it came up a little bit. The supercar guys racing down the strip. We talk about like young kids and their clapped out hoopties and the takeover behavior, but I think that's another problem too. These like rich dicks who just think they can do whatever they want.
Listen, there are probably
shows.
Hondas lined up street racing, but we just couldn't tell. So like, it's just
true,
a Lambo guys that just got caught. So.
Either way, just behave your damn selves, man. When you go for a big event, a big gathering, you are under immense public scrutiny. Everybody who's not a car person already doesn't like it because of the noise. All you straight pipe burble 2 nerds, calm down. But I think the onus is on the community as a whole.
And
to just
everything's
better.
being recorded as well. Like if it becomes more popular to just cancel takeover kids in 2-3 years, you're on camera jumping on gas stations and doing stupid things. Like, buddy, you kind of screwed yourself over. So I mean, don't do it, and don't do it especially near a camera. So
hell yeah. And don't go to big events just for the sake of causing chaos and trying to get 5 seconds of fame.
Don't
just
be like
go
that.
enjoy.
And
go
also,
enjoy yourself.
Without further ado, we got our Proform parts that we're giving away. If you didn't type Proform parts in the chat the whole time, you're missing out. Cause, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Big old AN wrench set, super nice anodized.
Everyone's favorite.
Beautiful.
Billet cut.
Beautiful.
They're really nice. Like
Every
really,
size
really
you
nice.
need. Oh my god. And can be Adam confirmed it can be used as brass knuckles if needed.
Not to be confirmed.
No. Joking.
That is illegal.
But these things are wicked. Super cool, super lightweight, have every single size you need.
So if you've entered Proform parts at any point in the chat today, before we reveal the part, sorry if you're trying. We got someone in at the last second. But we're going to run a duck race. I imagine it's going to be a very big duck race because I saw Proform parts pop up a lot.
Yep.
A lot.
Oh, nice.
Holy ducks.
All right.
Is that a crystal mohawk duck? What's going on there?
It's a unicorn duck.
I love how we always see the same one. We're always like, oh, this is the one.
Oh, you're on the crystal unicorn?
I choose Dr. Duck next to Rudolph.
Let me take a good look here. There's a clown duck. That's hilarious. There's a reindeer. Give me Rudolph. Rudolph.
All right,
duck.
who's yours, Julia?
The unicorn.
Unicorn. All right. In 3,
Jamie
2,
picks King Duck.
1. Quack 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 quack.
For the coolest set of wrenches we'll be giving away.
Chef Boyard Duck. Oh no!
Whoa!
No,
James!
That's crazy.
The man who couldn't win all year has won twice.
That's
not
back
in a
to
row,
back.
but was it back to back?
Yeah, it was
no way.
Back to back, brother. That's
Two in a row.
That's insane.
That's incredible.
He has a pipe. Who has a pipe?
Inspector Duck. Apparently.
Inspector Duck he's holding a pipe. Anywho, our Toyota Lexus issue. So it's ready for pre-order again. So jump up, place your order. It's going to be packaged with lots of love and care from me, and you're going to enjoy it. And we should be expecting them very soon, like probably in 2 days.
I know. I was really hoping I'd have one on my desk, so it must be really soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
That said, big shout out to Proform once again for sponsoring the podcast, letting us give away free stuff and enjoy the duck races at the end of every episode. That's been a real bright spot this year, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If you want that new Toyota issue, that's at shop.passmag.com. You can also get pretty much every back issue If you're a Toyota fan or a Lexus fan or just in generally like cool, well-built feature cars, the awesome car per capita of this magazine is insane. This is probably my favorite of the year.
Just the covers alone. Holy.
Yeah, right? We also want to echo some of the sentiments that were in the chat today, especially from our friend Luke here. Support the vendors and future Slammedenuff folks that really went out of their way to try and make this past 2 weekends ago work. Yes. They are probably out of pocket a lot because of what happened. Do your best to support those guys, especially because they try and support the community as much as possible.
Not even just money. Like, think about the time it takes to vet whatever profiles, whatever, you know, convention centers they need to rent out, do any little thing that they have to do. It's a lot.
If you've ever had a booth at a convention center, it's a whole
Imagine running the whole thing.
It's a whole friggin' thing. Support your local vendors, support your local shops, and support us. You know how you can do that? You can subscribe. You can send in your car submissions. We're going to be back to evaluating features real soon. Yep. So if you want to get in, if you subscribe to the PassMag newsletter or you've been to our website, passmag.com today, you may already know that we're looking forward to SEMA 2025. Yes, it is that time of year. We want to know, what do we go see? What do we point our lenses at and our eyeballs at SEMA 2025? Are you building something to bring to the show for the first time? Are you debuting something? Is your friend or someone you know or someone you just admire or a cool company putting something together that you really like? Let us know. You can find the article on our website. If you got the newsletter, it's at the top. And there's lots of ways to comment or let us know. Slide into our DMs on Instagram. Email the editor email here at PassMag. Or you can submit the car if you know all the specs or some of the specs on our submission form and just let us know that it is for SEMA.
Tell us what footage you guys want from SEMA and we'll make it happen.
In the meantime, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms, and we will see you guys back here next week. And I think it's going to be our Halloween special. Is that next week? No. The week after?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
The week after.
It's going to be our same SEMA episode is going to be our Halloween episode.
That's par for the course here.
A little spooky.
We'll
also,
see you guys.
Remember, hashtag stop takeovers. If you're a takeover kid,
Truth.
I'm coming for you.
Punch your local takeover kid.
maybe not that.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Okay,
bye. Everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.